Dear friends, this is the game played between Bobby Fischer and Banco, a fellow US Grandmaster. This is Sicilian defense. This game is played at the Candidates Tournament 1959. Fischer's age is 16. This Banco at a later date helped Bobby Fischer when he was playing with Spassky for the world title. Let us go into the game. E4, C5, knight F3, knight C6, D4, C into D4, knight into D4, knight F6, knight C3, D6, bishop C4, queen B6, knight D E2. If knight D B5, let us go back and see. If knight D B5, A6, bishop E3, queen A5, knight D4, knight into E4, etc. By putting immediate pressure, black forces the knight to a passive square. That is knight D E2. Last move played is knight D E2. E6, Fischer castles, bishop E7, bishop B3, Banco castles, king H1, getting out of the pin. If bishop E3, let us go back and see. If bishop E3, queen C7, the initiative is blunted. So after king H1, knight A5, bishop G5, queen C5, F4, B5, knight G3, B4. Gligorich, another grandmaster, suggests simply let us go back and see. Simply bishop B7. Also satisfactory is knight into bishop. Let us go back and see that. Knight into B3, A into B3. Now bishop E7 or B4. H8. This is what Gligorich suggests, but let us go back and see. After B4, E5 is played. After E5, D into E5 is played. It is now too late for knight into bishop 3. Let us go back and see. Knight into bishop 3, E into F6, G into F6. If B into F6, let us go back. If B into F6, knight C E4. This is a very good move. After G into F6, let us go back and see. G into F6, bishop H6, etc. If B into C3, let us go back and see. If B into C3, E into F6, or if G into F6, bishop H6, f5, knight h5, threatening to bring the queen to g3, that is to this square. Last move played is d into e5, bishop into f6, g into f6, knight c e4, queen d4, queen h5, knight into b3. If king h8, queen h6, rook g8, or e into f4, knight h5, knight h5 easily wins. After rook g8, knight into f6, etc. But knight into b3 is played. Queen h6, e into f4. If f5, c3, b into c3, knight h5, queen any square, b into c3, queen any square, knight h5 wins. Last move played is e into f4, knight h5, f5, rook a e1, queen e5, knight e f6, bishop into f6, knight into f6, check, queen into f6, queen into f6. Now it is skin and bones. Knight c5, queen g5 check, king h8, queen e7. Queen e7 is a good move. Bishop a6, queen into c5, bishop f1, bishop into f1, sorry, bishop into f1, rook into f1, black resigns. Dear viewers, if you like this video, please subscribe, share and like. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching.